Hi, I'm Dennis Schultz. This year at Innovate, the IBM Technical Summit, Javier Bastante and I will be presenting a session focused on improving the quality of your mobile applications. One of the challenges to effective mobile testing is verifying your app works on all the device platforms you support. When you consider all the possible combinations of vendors, form factors, operating system versions, and carrier networks that you need to test against, and then multiply those combinations by the amount of time required to manually execute your tests, you quickly realize the daunting task ahead of you. In our session, we talk about several things you should consider when testing mobile applications. We also demonstrate how utilizing the Keynote DeviceAnywhere mobile device cloud in combination with automated testing from Rational Test Workbench enables you to increase your device testing coverage while reducing your overall testing time and thereby getting your app to the App Store faster with higher quality. First, let's acquire a device to use for testing from the DeviceAnywhere cloud. I connect to the cloud using the DeviceAnywhere Enterprise Studio. I want to start my testing on a Samsung Galaxy 3, so I filter the list of all the devices available to me in the cloud. I further qualify that I want a device on the AT&T US network. By acquiring a device, I will have full control over that device through the DeviceAnywhere graphical user interface. Now this is a real physical device that I can control remotely through this interface. Let me rearrange my screen slightly here so that we can see both the device and Rational Test Workbench at the same time. Now Rational Test Workbench is an automated testing tool that enables graphical user interface testing of mobile applications. Now here we see a list of mobile devices that have been associated with my Rational Test Workbench instance. To associate a device, which I'm doing in my DeviceAnywhere cloud instance right now, I simply navigate to a web page and download the Rational Test Workbench mobile test client. So I'll install that mobile test client on my device, and that enables communication back to the workbench. The client needs to be configured to know where the workbench server is, and we'll do that by manually entering in a URL address for Rational Test Workbench. Now on a physical device, as you may have seen, it will typically use the camera, and a QR code can be displayed from the test workbench, and you can simply snap the QR code to configure this. Now because I don't have the device in my hand, I can't point the camera at my screen, so I have to manually type that address in. But as soon as the address is in, you notice that we've connected to the workbench, and now we see the device show up in our list of mobile devices. Now the second step is to enable the application for testing. Now one way to do that is to upload an app from the device itself. So if the app were already on the device, I could do that. Now I've already installed a couple of apps into the test workbench, imported them. So you see a calculator app and a JKE mobile testing app. By importing those into the app, or into Test Workbench, what we're doing is instrumenting the app so that we can record and play back the tests. Now let's look at a test that I've created already. This is for a simple calculator operation. The test is recorded on the device, and all the operations are recorded into the test. So you see in a natural language here things like clicking on buttons, and we've instrumented or embellished our test a little bit by adding some verification points into the test as well. That test is also visible on the device itself in HTML format. If I want to play back the test, I just simply click the Run Test button on the device, and the app is swapped out with the playback version of the app. And once we've done that, we'll see that the app is actually being robotically controlled by Rational Test Workbench on the device in the cloud. And so it's stepping through the operations that are in the test. And we see on the device here that it's been successful. We have an execution status of success. And not only can we see that on the device, but the report is immediately uploaded to the test workbench as well. So we see here the report shows me every step that was taken along the way, and with a screenshot of each step as well. Now, let's say that we also want to test this app in landscape mode. So with the DeviceAnywhere configuration, we can simply switch that, the orientation, and now we'll navigate back to the test in the on the device. And in fact, we'll actually go back to the main menu here of Rational Test Workbench's mobile test client. And note that there's a passive mode button here. So if we put the device into passive mode, what that's really doing is it's making the device a slave to the workbench. So we can control things from the workbench. So I can simply click the Run button here and run the test from the workbench without having to interact with the device directly at all. So now again we see the test playing back in landscape mode this time. And you would expect, since it passed in portrait mode, that we should have no problems in landscape mode. The app does render differently. You notice there are a number of different buttons and functions when we're in landscape mode. But we're still testing a common thread here. But you see the test failed. And when we click on the link at the top of the report, it takes us directly to that failure. And actually, the 8 button, when we're in landscape mode, is rendered as an uppercase E. And so this automated test has found a bug that would have been very easy to overlook if I were manually testing this. Now consider, if you have this device cloud, you could have many devices that are all slaved to Test Workbench all at the same time and in passive mode. So when I click the Run button, I'm actually given a choice of which device I would like to run the test on. And now you see the test is running on a different Samsung device that we don't even have the user interface brought up for this. So we've put this device into passive mode, and the test is running on that. So this is where we really get the value of testing across multiple configurations using the DeviceAnywhere cloud with automation with Rational Test Workbench. So thanks for your time, for checking out the video. If you're watching this prior to Innovate and you're going to be down in Orlando with us, stop by Dolphin Northern A4 on Tuesday at 11:15 and join us. Thanks.